Okay, today's video is about one Jack the Drought and what I think about him. I know I had some thoughts, and basically I got this because I just watched Tekking's video on Jack, and while watching his video made me think of something else, which is why I'm making this video. And I did want to make a video this week on the latest chapter, but you know what? I'm just trying to think of ways in which I don't have to do chapter reviews, but still get my thoughts on a chapter out, But yeah, I just don't like chapter reviews, so I'm gonna go with Jack, because why not? Jack is such a great guy. And understanding, a bit of Jack, and from then, the dynamic within the Beast Pirates and all that, and really going deep into the mind of Jack, because I think that there's something about Jack which makes sense to me now. There's just something in my head which clicks, because when we were introduced to Jack, we were introduced to a guy who had been built up for a while. Since back in Punk Hazard, they were like, let Jack know about this, in the underground. Then, they talked about how Jack, is calling him a disaster is an understatement. And then we saw him in Zoo and he attacked. And we heard this man fighting for 5 days straight. And we know it's 5 days straight because he fought against Neko and Inu, who were taking 12-hour shifts to fight this man for 5 days. And even after those 5 days, he didn't get tired. It's explained like he just got pissed off and then poisoned everyone. So it's not like he got tired and he couldn't fight anymore, but he basically got pissed off. So we're talking about a man whose energy never runs out. Jack is the destroyer of power scales, which is not really related to this video, but it's a quick tangent I'd like to go on. It's related to some of the thoughts I had while reading the latest chapter, 986. So if you are not caught up on 986, I suggest that you just skip this part of the video. I'll probably put down below the timings to which to skip. But a lot of people were surprised that the Scabbards could, rush Kaido and, basically knock him off the stage where he was. And to me, that makes sense. In terms of Kaido and catching Kaido off guard, well, everyone was off guard. Kaido and all his All-Stars were off guard. But in terms of Kaido didn't really care, because as you could see with Kaido, he's like, it's not like your swords will even hurt me anyway. But I guess for the rest of his people, those people were generally caught off guard. There's nothing they could do. We already saw Ashura basically almost speed blitz Jack. And that's just Ashura. Now, all 9 of them, that's also a big surprise still, but it makes sense to me, because 20 years ago, while Oden was one-on-one with Kaido, his 9 Scabbards plus Shinobu fought the rest of the Beast Pirates. So in my head, that somewhat means that there should have been at least 3 Beast Pirates. Not 3 Beast Pirates, sorry, 3 Scabbards going 1-to-1 with the All-Stars back then. So, which would mean technically that some of the Scabbards are on the same level as the All-Stars, but then it seems like none of the Scabbards can beat Jack now. So, but Jack is the weakest. So yeah, Jack destroys some power scales. Anyway, back to the video. Now that we're back, like I was saying, Jack is a guy who's very interesting. And I guess up until then, that was really impressive. We were getting introduced to all these characters. Jack fought for 5 days, no sleep, no eat, no rest, no nothing. And then he poisoned everyone, and left. Heard about Doflamingo. And he went to attack those battleships, which had an admiral, a former fleet admiral, and, a legendary vice admiral, let's say. Which was pretty dumb. I know it's pretty dumb. You know it's pretty dumb. It makes no sense. And I guess it's something that we would not understand at all for over 100 chapters at that time. Of course, back then I was still anime only, so over 100 episodes of anime anyway. But looking at it now, I think that in itself completely makes sense. That action. just looking at Jack's personality, Jack's dynamic, Kaido's group and everything. Because Jack is somebody who, we're looking back then, he was doing too much. Because he came back from that, started attacking Zou, and until Zou, Momo told Zou to strike back. Now, in Jack's defense, the whole Zou thing was unexpected. I don't think anyone ever I don't even think Big Mom would have expected Zou to hit back. So, in his defense, the whole getting hit back by Zou was unexpected. Even for me as a fan, I didn't know what would happen there. But I think ever since he went to try free Doflamingo, Jack's showing has plummeted in the fan base. And I guess in the series generally, but he's plummeted. And then we get to Wano, and then it seemed like he got speed blitzed. He almost did, but it seemed like he got speed blitzed by Ashura Doji. But then Ashura Doji is just strong, and people just don't rate Ashura Doji, so there's that. And then, we had King and Queen scolding him, and then now it just seems like he's an angry guy. Then after that, we've been having, this recent thing with Who's Who saying he's going to take on one of the calamities. And of course, because people think Jack's at the bottom and that Who's Who may be like on the level of the All-Stars, they just all think, people naturally think that Who's Who may be stronger than Jack already. So now Jack has been relegated to technically the high Tobiropo level. That's where he's been relegated to. So I feel sorry for Jack. He's had a terrible showing since then. But I am here to restore the honor of Jack. And I'll do this one for the Mammoth Boyz. Thank you very much. But back to Jack. I think that one, understanding Jack goes to his relationship with King and Queen. Because as we know, the All-Stars, Jack, King, and Queen, are the highest ranking officials in the Beast Pirates outside of Kaido himself. Now, it has never been stated that Jack, King, or Queen are superior to any one of them is superior in any way at all. Not by Kaido, not by anyone. Because it was said, the lore itself says that Kaido has 3 right-hand men. 3. It didn't say that the 3 right-hand men are ranked to themselves. So technically speaking, in terms of rank, those 3 are on the same level. Technically speaking. But of course, like we saw when King and Queen were introduced, that they're not. They don't see themselves on the same level as Jack. It's more that Jack is below King and Queen, and that King sees himself as superior to Queen, but Queen doesn't see himself and doesn't act in any way inferior to King. So it seems that those two may be on the same level in terms of authority and just their image in the Beast Pirates, with King acting more of the slightly more right-hand man role, in terms of supporting Kaido. But in terms of authority and presentation and, how much they boss everyone, those guys seem to be at the top. And it seems like those guys have, basically baby Jack, make Jack look like nothing. They even call him a drag down. So I think that is one thing that impacts Jack's image, which shouldn't be taken into account as, to ruin our view of Jack, because Jack is undoubtedly one of the most surprising characters in the story. But the second thing is, I think, just the whole general group dynamic of the Beast Pirates, because as we know, the Beast Pirates now, we know it's a meritocracy, and you do stuff and you go up, you rise the ranks. So as we know, the way that King and Queen see themselves as superior to Jack sees himself as superior to everyone else. Jack does not think that he's equal to any Tobiropo or headliners or numbers. Jack knows. Jack is like, no. The only people who can boss me around is King and Queen. You guys are nothing. You guys are nothing. But then on the other hand, everyone knows, like in the Beast Pirates, we saw this. Everyone knows that you gotta get feats to keep your position. 1, to get in. 2, to keep it. That's why King and Jack had no qualms when Kaido asked them, do you have any problem with the Tobiropo challenging you? Once they find Yamato, they're like, no, we're fine. So Jack and the all-stars, the rest of them, they have no problem. Like, and not just them, like the whole Beast Pirates, they all know that you just have to show up. Like, you just have to show your strength. This is a meritocracy. It's the way it is. You prove your strength through actual feats, right? And it's just unfortunate with the track record Jack has, because the same mentality which Who's Who and Sasuke and some of the other Tobiropo, people like, what's his name, Apu, the Numbers, Hacha, some of the headliners, gifters, the same mentality which they had when they thought that they could take on Luffy, 1.5 billion berry bounty, you know, one of the rookies of the new world who causes havoc. The same mentality which they had in thinking that they could take him down, the same mentality which made Who's Who look at Luffy knowing who he is and call him just rats running around, even though we all know that Who's Who can't beat Luffy, is the same mentality that Jack has. It's not just hubris, it's more of courage, I'd say, and not fearing danger. Because it's a meritocracy, and the only way you get to earn respect there is by actually doing something, even though it costs you your life. Because everyone there, although they've abandoned their pride of being number one, they want to all get as high as possible. Which is interesting, because now it seems that what's high as possible is supposed to be an all-star, but it appears even in the all-star there are ranks, and Jack is also fighting for seemingly a higher rank. Even though I don't think that Jack will ever get promoted to King or Queen, he'll just get more respect in that, because technically speaking, he's already at the highest level under Kaido. But I think it goes back to that. And looking at it, understanding that it's a meritocracy, and understanding how much trash Jack gets for just, you know, being who he is, it makes sense, you know. I mean, let me talk about myself, right? I have older brothers, and you know, sometimes it's just like you want to prove that you are on that level, on their level sometimes. So you, instead of talking, you know, sometimes actions is better. And so sometimes you want to prove that you're on that level. And maybe that's what's happening with Jack. Maybe Jack wanted to do something that would prove that he's on that level. And like I said, these guys don't care about death. These guys are all in, you know. For the sake of going up the ranks, these guys are still pirates. These guys, they live the life of danger. And so imagine what that would have done. I think Jack thought about this as well for himself. Imagine how that would have sounded when Kaido got the news, when everyone in the Beast Pirate got the news that Jack freed Doflamingo, an important, you know, member of Kaido's associates. 1. 2, he freed him from a current admiral, a former fleet admiral, and a legendary vice admiral, and some other marines, you know, battleships and all that. Imagine how that would have sounded if he actually succeeded. Imagine where Jack's respect would have been, knowing that Kaido runs a meritocracy, and knowing how much Kaido values people who can actually show results. But then understanding through all that, Jack came back from a 5-day fight, did that, got injured, came back, still attacked Zunisha, got knocked to the floor, still survived there for at least a few days, got up, went back to Kuri, was walking around like nothing happened. I mean, Jack is just incredible. And I mean, although he has ambition, I guess that maybe if we're talking like character arc, maybe Jack's character arc is less of a physical fight. It's more of a mental battle. And he's, you know, it's like inferiority complex and not asserting himself enough. Because I feel like Jack, in terms of strength compared to King and Queen, would probably be the same. You know, just my headcanon and power scaling wise, he probably would be equal. But anyway, guys, that's just my headcanon. This video has gone on quite a while. Like, I do try to keep my videos shorter than this, but you know, past few videos have been long. Anyway, guys, I do want to start making more videos. Probably starting with this one, but I don't know how I'm gonna do it, what kind of order or system I'm gonna set up to make me make more videos. But you know what, I'll just try. It's just my thoughts at the end of the day, so depends on how I see people reacting. Anyway, guys, be sure to let me know what you think. What do you think of Jack? Do you guys still think Jack is, you know, undoubtedly above the Tobiropo and they just have hubris? Or do you just think that, Jack is a joke at this point? Jack the joke, Jack the drowned, or Jack the drag down? What do you guys think? Of course, I know my Mammoth Boyz will support me, but everyone else, I don't know. What do you guys think? Be sure to write what you think down in the comment section below. Like the video if you like the video. I will not discourage you to dislike the video. You can keep moving on to the next one. Thank you very much. If you know someone who needs to hear the truth, please share this video with them. If you still have time, watch one more video. If you do not, thank you for watching this one to the end. This is King KZ, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.